up, guys? Bearded Game here, back with some more AFK Journey. And today, well, we're going to jump into something we haven't really talked about just yet, and that is going to be one of the battle modes called Arena. Now, typically, Arena is more of that pay-to-win type PvP environment. If you want something more free-to-play friendly, Honor Duel is definitely for you because you don't even use your own characters. However, if we jump over to Arena, I wanted to show off a pretty cool team because honestly, heroes that aren't typically used in campaign and such can actually be really good in this game mode. So let's go up against a couple battles here. I want to try to find people with similar power levels. I think 136 might be a little strong for us, but we're going to be going with a very unique team here. So we are going to be maining a very crowd control oriented setup. And we're going to have Rowan for bursting some additional energy to our three heroes, and Damien just for some extra healing. Then he's not targetable. He'll just always be there healing in the background. So this strategy involves Granny. Oh my gosh, I always forget how to say the name. Oh, you're gonna butcher me for this one. Eironn, I don't even know how to say his name all the time. I loved him in AFK Arena, still don't know how to pronounce it to this day. And then the last one is going to be Cecia. So essentially our goal here is for this ultimate to create that nice big tornado, group everybody up, and then between Cecia and where is she? Granny right here. We're going to be doing ultimates that basically root and keep these heroes crowd controlled. So let's see how this actually goes. We can slow it down to 1x pace as well and see how this actually turns out. Now, sometimes Granny will get her ultimate before the kind of AoE, but we'll see how this actually goes here. Looks like, yeah, Granny might get hers off first, which isn't the worst thing because she's still going to root everybody. It immobilizes them, and then he can group them up even more so that then Cecia can drop her big old summon who's just going to start cleaving the enemies down. So that's kind of the goal of this team, is keeping everybody alive long enough to get it done. Now, the other thing that Damien also does in this team, he does provide some crowd control with some stunning and stuff. So yeah, even though we were pretty much similar power level, and this is by far our best, like not even close to our best overall lineup, it ends up working out really good. Cecia with that huge damage from her summon just does crazy work. Granted, we're going up against a team that is essentially all A-level heroes, and if you're going for A-levels, those are not like horrible ones to build. But they definitely have higher levels. So let's see if we can find a couple more for this lineup to face. Maybe find someone closer to like 150-ish if possible. 144. I think we might be hitting up in power. No, it's actually almost exactly the same. 146. So this is a really good matchup. Let's see how it turns out this time. We'll go a little bit faster. We kind of want Eironn on the front row just so that he will get his ultimate off first and group them up before even Granny does her CC. And then you're basically just keeping everybody entangled and not moving in that whole group. Lots of damage going out, tons of CC. Granted, it's more rooting type CC than like a stun or something, but as you guys can see, the grouping of the enemy heroes just works great. The only downside of this type of team is you'll see Granny's kind of stuck not doing anything because there's a very narrow passageway here, so it does take a little bit for us to get the final damage in. But Cecia is going to be popping off, and this is just like a low tier Cecia as well. I think it's only just a single copy, and she is going crazy here against some legend versions. So let's do a couple more battles here. We'll do our extra attempts today and see if we can find some more. Again, I kind of want to try to hit up in power a little bit to see if this continues to work. Strategy does not always work. We got to redo our team here for our setup on this map here. Do we want to go middle? I think I kind of want to go up here. You know what we could try doing? We could try doing something along the lines, putting you up there, keep Rowan close over here. We're also going to put Cecia right next to her as well to hopefully, for him to hopefully get some energy gain, and then Damien can kind of be wherever, to be honest. We could probably just put Damien in the back. So let's see how it works out on this map. Granny taking them for like kind of middle aggro, whereas it still looks like energy should be pretty close on everybody. Rowan might not get an ultimate skill off, but there it is. There's that big grouping, and then we're gonna root them all down, which is exactly the strategy. And then Cecia comes in, re-entangles them while also having the summon start doing some crazy amount of damage. Meanwhile, our team is just healing back up to full, and then we group them up again and repeat. So yeah, gotta love this strategy. This is kind of one of my favorite types of teams, because again, this is not always like the best type of team to use in campaign. Granted, it looks like we didn't have the power to actually finish this team off here, so a little intriguing to see how this is gonna go. They do have a ton of healing on the enemy side too, but their allies are kind of getting out of the healing range a little bit. So, ooh, we could actually still lose this one. This one is probably the longest PvP battles I've seen, and that's what happens when you're going more for a control or healing based like meta here. Are we gonna get any kills? No, we're just going after the summon from the enemy Cecia, which is not great. Oh, and we did lose one of our heroes, so that is pretty much spells defeat for us. But it is kind of cool seeing these types of strategies that you don't normally see, and technically this could work in something like the campaign or the AFK battles as well. So let's see what we can do with this. Honestly, this is probably one of our worst battle zones because everything's kind of spreading out overall. Let's see if we can do one more, and then we'll try it out in the AFK stages as well to see how it turns out. 144, that is a pretty fair matchup. This might have been the one we already went up against, and yeah, we got to reset our team one more time. Actually, this is tricky because we kind of want most of our heroes to be up the top here. This one's kind of bad because, again, the enemy is spread out. Let's go with something like Granny here. You over here. I guess put you in the middle, and then we can just put Damien down here and Cecia down here. And that should be fine. We're going to miss some of those range units, though, I think, with our abilities, which kind of kills the point of this strategy a little bit. Although they might get pulled in right here. Yeah, most of them do get pulled in, but then the Cecia ultimate's a little bit off, but it does look like it'll still work in this situation. We took out one enemy, which does give us the advantage, 4 versus 5. I can't see us losing at this point because we already had our combo go off, which was really, really good. And then we're going to get more grouping of the enemies here. And again, if you have other heroes in your lineup as well, like, I mean, you could kind of swap out the Cecia for other ones. One that could be really cool too is like Dionel if you actually go for him. So just keep that in mind too. It's an interesting strategy and it can most definitely work out. I'm kind of intrigued to see how it would compare because Cecia is doing some crazy amounts of damage here. And we got to level up, a tier promotion too. That means we get more diamonds. Yes, gotta love it. Let's do one more fight. Just one more. If you guys have never seen my content, one more is something I say all the time because I just want to keep doing one more. I want to test one more thing out. I want to see one more thing and all that. So let's see if we drop the Cecia out and instead put Dionel in because he has some really good AoE here. Granted, this is going away from our more crowd control oriented setup that we were originally looking for, but he has that nice spear throw, and then when he does use his ultimate, he's going to fly up in the air and do a ton of damage. And with them being grouped up here, that's the ultimate goal now. He's going to jump up in the air and he's going to start throwing that spear down, doing tons of AoE damage, like ridiculous amounts of AoE damage. So this is a really good combo here. This is a really, really good combo. Because beyond that, he's immune when he's up in the air too, which is really, really nice. And it looks like, yeah, he put out a ton of damage from the looks of it. So much AoE. Should finish off Brutus here in 1 or 2 attacks. Although Brutus is healing up a ton, but he will not win against this eventually. There we go. So that's the kind of thing. There's some flexibility to this depending on the hero you go for. Dionel's not exactly one you want to use, but that is a crazy, crazy high amount of damage. I wonder if we can do like one more. You hear what I'm saying? One more. Let's go. Let's actually hit up with this team by quite a bit. 40,000 power. Let's drop you out. Let's chuck you in the back here. Did we like this setup before? I don't know. Maybe do something like this. Yeah, let's see. Again, some of these battle stages are not great for us. Oh, no, we got taken out immediately by that burst, and that is one of the bad things about this strategy. However, Even though we're not completely grouping up, there might still be a chance. I don't know. It really comes down to Dionel, but I think he's going to go down before he gets anything good off here. Yeah, I think we're just done for. It does make the enemy team waste a lot of ultimates too, but you can see how much AoE damage he can do. Sadly, it's not going to be enough, and this type of battle is not going to be for us. We did drop. It's fine. We already got our diamonds. We're not really caring too much about our rank right now. So, you know, it is what it is. So that is something that is a really, really cool strategy. It's definitely one if you're going to go if you're a fan of the Wilders, which I'm not a big fan of the Wilders. Granny is a really solid tank in the front row because of the way that she heals. Not the best overall hero to use like in the early game, I'd say, but if you're talking about like later game, he can actually be pretty solid of a hero. He's actually one of the better heroes if you can heavily invest to him. And I do feel like that's the Wilders and the Graveborn in general. Those two factions seem like the more you can invest in it, the better they become. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.